With your smartphone in your pocket, you have an excellent video recorder for making video interviews or video sequences of things going on around you. In this video, I'll give you some tips and tricks on how you can use your smartphone for making video clips. First of all, it's a good idea to keep it simple. So stick to the simple formats. Either you could make a video interview, or you could make a small sequence, a video sequence of things going on around you, or you could make what we call visual proof. As you can see in the lower example, the man who made this video is actually using his finger to help us see what he wants us to see. And that's a kind of new way to tell stories. You never see this on television, but it could be very effective when you show it like video on the web. So stick to the simple formats. I'll concentrate on the video interview. First of all, you have to be aware how this video interview could contribute to your story. So think about, what should this interview do for your users? Should it show some feelings? Should it show knowledge or personal experience? There are many different ways of using a video interview, but it's only important that you know how you want to use your video interview. So be aware of that. Is it statements, is it feelings, or is it perhaps personal experience you want to communicate? When you have chosen the way you want to make your interview and how it should contribute, it's important to frame it right. So be aware of the composition. First of all, it's important that both eyes are visible. As you can see in the upper example, you can only see one of the woman's eyes, and it seems as if she is kind of distant to what is going on. In the lower example, you could see both her eyes, and she's much more close to the user who's looking at her, even if she is blind. So it's important that both eyes are visible in your video interview. Then you should frame the shot. You should be aware of space over the head. If there's too much space over the head, the composition is not too good. But there is also another problem, and that's the sound. You can be almost sure that if there's too much space over the head, you are too far away from the interviewee. If the top of the head of your interview is close to the frame, you can be sure that you almost is close enough to him, and then you'll get a good sound. It might sound crazy, but the sound is almost the most important thing about the video interview. With no sound or with bad sound, you don't have a video interview. So pay attention to the background noise. Are there machines or cars or air conditioning in the background? They can totally ruin your video interview. Sometimes interview in the settings is impossible because of background noise. You have to move your interview person to another place to be sure that there's not too much noise to destroy your video interview. And then you have to stand close to the interviewee to be sure that the sound from the interviewee is recorded and not the background noise. When you stand close to your interviewee, you could say to yourself, I could stand a little closer. It's a good idea just to take a little step closer. Then you can be sure that you are close enough. Then it's a good idea to keep the eye contact. In the convention of television, you said that people should not look directly into the camera. But that's not a problem any longer. We as users, we like to have eye contact with the persons who are interviewed. But sometimes the interviewees, they're not feeling comfort about looking directly into the camera. So often it will be a good idea to say, just look at me, we are talking together, and you shouldn't think about my video recorder, just look at me. So sometimes it's a good idea to keep the eye contact. And then you should remember the limitations about the video recording with your smartphone. In this example, you can see that the one who had made this video clip wanted to include the logos of Danida and Adva. And as you can see, there's too much space over the interviewer's head, and the sound will be terrible because he's standing too far away. So remember the limitations of a video recorder, like video recorder from a smartphone. When you're going to make the interview, make an agreement of the content and the angle before recording. because if you don't make this agreement, you might come home with half an hour of interview. It's much better to make this agreement before and be sure that you only get what you need. Then use open questions. And if the question is going to be cut away, be aware of the answer, that the person is talking so that it's possible to cut away your question. Keep quiet while your interviewee is talking. You might want to help them by saying yes and and interesting. Don't do that, because that ruins your interview when it's finished, if you can hear yourself in the background.